Alrighty guys, the video for today, this one's, I say this a lot, but this one's going to be a little different. What we're going to do today is we're going to be fact checking an extreme left-wing mayor in a major metropolitan city in the United States. The mayor that we're going to be fact checking today is going to be Mayor Andrew Ginther. He's the mayor of the city of Columbus, Ohio. And during his tenure, there has been a tremendous spike in violent crime, most notably homicides in the city that some would argue started happening right about the same time that he became mayor, and it has continued on till this day. So on January the 5th, 2023, right after, the new year, when 2020's homicides were kind of buttoned up and finalized because nobody else could die in the year 2020 because the year was over, he decided to have a press conference. The press conference he had was touting the fact that homicides were down in the year 2022 compared to the previous year, which was 2021, which we'll get into in a moment, but set the all-time record for homicides in the city of Columbus, which doubled basically the 10-year average for the city at 207. The previous average, we'll go over all that here in a moment, but since the number of homicides was down from its all-time high, he decided to come out and take a victory lap for political purposes. At least that's what I'm going to say. And I don't know. I kind of have a problem with it. I don't like his statistics. I don't think he's using facts. I think he's twisting the numbers for his own political gain. And as a person who holds in high regard honesty and integrity, I took an issue with that. So what we're going to do today is we're going to watch what the mayor said, and then we're going to go ahead and live fact check him. We are going to be doing some maths in the video today. I have a calculator that you'll be able to see on the screen so you can fact check me as I go. And I don't know, this one might be interesting. So without further ado, I bring to you the mayor of the city of Columbus, Ohio, Andrew Ginther.
As we embark on a new year together, we wanted to pause and showcase the incredible progress of our public safety forces as they continue to fight violent crime. And
it's interesting that he said public safety forces fighting crime, because I have heard him say many times before that we need to transition our police department from the warrior mentality to being more of a guardian. So it's interesting that he says they are public safety forces out there fighting crime, because I didn't think that was the kind of verbiage that Andrew Ginther appreciated, but apparently, depending on polls, his verbiage changes.
Build a safer, more peaceful, more prosperous Columbus. Community safety is our top priority, period. But as the old saying goes, don't tell me, show me.
That's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm not just going to tell you, I'm going to show you why what you're doing is wrong and dishonest.
Well, we're here today to do just that. Here's the banner headline you don't see or hear about very often. Our homicide rate, in fact, is down.
Actually, the reason that you don't see that headline often is because it's not true. And he just made a lie where he said the homicide rate, in fact, is down. That's not true. That's a lie.
It's declining by a significant margin. Homicides in Columbus were down 33% in 2022 over 2021, and 22% lower.
Alrighty, so here is what he's saying. There's a little bit more to the video that I cut out, but I don't think I feel like watching it. He is saying this is one of those things where when it comes to fact checking, I'm going to go ahead and say right here and right now that this is mostly false, that it's missing context, because he said that homicides were down 33% from 2021 to 2022. Now that part is technically true, but we have to examine why that's true and the facts behind that. So let's look at the three most recent years of homicides in the city of Columbus, and then we're going to dive a little bit deeper. So in the year 2020, this was the summer of love in the city of Columbus, the summer of love for George Floyd and everybody who remembered what George Floyd died for that day. During that summer of love, there was a tremendous spike in violent crime. The homicide rate climbed to 178, and the previous record in the city of Columbus, which we're going to discuss here in a moment, was 142. In 2021, that climbed even further to 207 homicides, which doubled the previous average number of homicides in the city. I'll show you that in a moment. And then in 2022, it dropped back to 139, which is a little bit less than what the previous record was. So he's trying to say that since we are now just a few shy of the previous homicide record, we have dropped 33% in homicides. Well, here's a webpage that I have that I would like to show you. And I also have my calculator. So what we are going to do, this webpage, this is citydata.com, and it has the violent crime statistics for the city of Columbus from 2006 to 2019. That is 12 years of statistics. Now, if you want to tell me that violent crime is dropping and continues to drop in your city, I would like to know what the 10-year average for violent crime is, right? I think that the 10-year rolling average is a good place for us to measure ourselves by. And it also kind of accounts for rising in population and stuff like that. I've heard some people try to say that the reason homicides have increased in the city of Columbus is because the population has increased in the city of Columbus. Before we get too deep into the numbers, let's examine that briefly. In 2006, there was 104 homicides. In 2018, there was 99. In 2019, there was 81. So regardless of the fact that the population has actually grown, the number of homicides amongst the population has stayed fairly steady for that entire period. And also, I have a hard time believing that the population exploded from 2020 to 2022 to a level that would nearly double the number of homicides. But regardless of that fact, let's run the numbers, because like the mayor said, don't just tell me, show me. So in 2006, there was 104 homicides. In 2007, there was 79. Then we had 109, 83, 94, 87, 83, 77, 91, 142. That was the mayor's second year in office. 99, and then 81. That is 1,129 homicides over a 12-year period for an average of 94.08. Now let's go back to this chart where the mayor said that homicides have dropped 33% because they went from 207 down to 139. If the 10-year average was 94.08 homicides per year, and the previous year that we had was 139, how are you going to say that that is a drop of homicides of 33%? I mean, I'm not going to do the reverse numbers here, but to me, it's fairly easy to do because we're looking right about 100. If you go from 100 to 140, that's a 40% increase. The mayor is trying to say that a 40% increase in homicides is actually a 33% decrease in crime. The way he's doing this is because he's lying and manipulating about what statistics he chooses to use. The fact of the matter is that Andrew Ginther became the mayor of Columbus in 2016. I've got that right here that I can show you. So in 2016, he became the mayor of the city of Columbus. And then in 2017, the city had the highest number of homicides it had ever recorded up until that point. That record was once again broken in 2020 or in 2020, and then it was shattered in 2021. So the homicide rate in 2021 actually doubled what the 10-year rolling average was. this is a considerable increase in violent crime. And the mayor is out here trying to take credit for a drop in violent crime. What he's doing, I think I've already said, is dishonest, and he's manipulating the data. The thing that's really sad about this to me is that we're not just talking about numbers here. We're not just talking about crime. We're talking about real people who lived and breathed and were walking on this planet, and they no longer are. Let's look at this period here from 2020 to 2021. Let's run those numbers. So 178 plus 207 plus 139. That's 524. If the homicide rate during that period hadn't risen so dramatically, there would have been just under 300 people that were killed during those 3 years. Instead, there was 524 people killed during those 3 years. That is 225 people roughly that are no longer alive. That's 225 families, in addition to what we normally had, that are dealing with the sadness of losing a loved one. These are actual people whose lives were lost. And I don't believe it's okay to manipulate the data to pretend that those 225 people didn't die, because you're trying to make it look like you're doing something to bring violent crime down because you care more about your re-election bid than you do about the facts on the ground and these people's lives. Honesty and integrity are important. They are absolutely important characteristics of our public servants. And the mayor of a large city is arguably the most important public servant in that city. So it is vital that that person be a man of honesty and integrity. I don't think that's the case with this one. Those are my thoughts for today. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you soon.